Ronnie, something else that happened this week was Prime Days.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of days, you had also had a story here at informedamerica.com, which I just found hilarious and could be quite useful. Worried about an apocalypse? Use Amazon Prime Day to buy food that lasts a quarter century. And this is a 104 serving complete survival food kit. Has a 25-year shelf life, multi-use, ready to eat food. And actually, I pull this up on Amazon. Maybe I'll just share this too as well. If anyone, it's a giant. It's a giant bucket. ReadyWise emergency food supply. Well, I like the 25-year shelf life. And by the way, I did on this channel, I did review a 24-hour MRE kit, which has good points and bad points. But this is kind of a cool product for $150. You had some ideas of what people could do with this. Even though Prime Day is over, it's still selling for $150. So.
Right. And to your point, I mean, I think you kind of went by it fast. It's 104 servings. I mean, for $150. So we're talking $1.50 a serving. I mean, Dave, think of all the money you could save on lunches over the next 104 days, right? You don't even have to save it for 25 years. And so as I pointed out, maybe it's what bachelors eat. Maybe it's what you send, with your kid to college. It's like, here, just take a bucket of food. You'll be good.
Got to be better than ramen, right? I would assume it'd be more nutritious than that salt pack and crunchy noodles.
I don't know if it's more nutritious because I didn't get far into the label, but you do have to add your own water. So it's not like it's completely self-contained, so to speak. But you know what? If you're looking for something that's going to save you down the road, if you can't get to the grocery store, just buy a couple of buckets, throw them in the garage and forget about them.
Yeah, it's a very cool idea, cool product. Well spotted by you, Ronnie. Yeah, maybe this is honey, you don't need to go to the grocery store anymore.
That's right. I was looking for something to eat in the refrigerator, and lo and behold, I found it in the garage.
And I do like the idea, the 25-year shelf life. This does have a lot of uses, and I think this kind of a thing, maybe this or another one, but these are good products to have in your possession because you never know what's going to happen. Now, further on this, we don't have the numbers yet for how much Amazon made on Prime Day. We know it's many, many billions. But the one interesting thing and encouraging thing, and maybe connecting back to our first story, is that it reported just today that small and medium-sized businesses that sell on Amazon Marketplace, so third-party sellers, made more than $3.5 billion during Prime Day, a 60% increase. So maybe this could be an opportunity here and some positive news that maybe things are, at least the little guys are finding their way back right now.
Well, so that's never been a problem. E-commerce shot to the moon during all this, of course, because you and I still wanted to spend money, and so we just shifted it from in-person to online. The move was already happening. We were moving more online every year. This just supercharged the transition. And so what we've done is kind of moved ourselves faster to the point where we cut out the middleman of the retail space, which cuts out an entire swath of employment, rental, leasing, all sorts of things that happen to make those goods available in a shop down the street that we don't need anymore. And so the person who created the good, who made the widget or whatever it is that you're buying online, they were never in trouble. And so I don't know that this is a change that helps the small business owner as long as that small business owner was a producer. Mm-hmm. This instead, I think, speeds up the demise of the other small businesses, which were the retail spaces, because in a lot of instances, we're just not going to go back. We're certainly not going to go back in the same numbers that we did before.
Yeah, no, I mean, all right, well taken. But could this be, so since this is the transition, I mean, are we going to see many people who otherwise wouldn't be retailers to maybe jump on the Amazon Marketplace as a potential opportunity for them? Or
I don't see how that works, because what you would need is a greater demand for stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's not that we're demanding more stuff. We're demanding it from a different channel. And the best example is actually food, right? Because we didn't have a sudden increase in the number of people in the United States from, March 1st to March 31st. But what we did is dramatically change the channel through which we gathered food. Whereas we did have a balance, not 50-50, but we had a balance out there of a lot of it at home and some in restaurants. We totally shut out or almost totally shut out the restaurant component by the end of March.
Yeah.
And so we were demanding all that food in grocery stores, and they just didn't have it. the channel it didn't have it's not that the food wasn't there. I mean, we actually had crops that were going, they were dying out in the field. I mean,
Yeah.
they were overripe, right? They were going to ruin because they couldn't sell to restaurants as they had before. And so I think that's what you're seeing, is where people who used to perhaps only sell in their store had to scramble and create an online presence. And that's great, but they no longer need those store clerks working with them.
Right.
And so I think what you did in your example is take retailers who used to just sell in the store, and they said, hey man, if I don't have an online presence, I'm going to go under. And so they did that. But again, we're still cutting out that swath of employment.
Okay. Well, trying to find a silver lining here. Well, that isn't it.
Well, the silver lining is that it becomes a bit more efficient, right? Because we were hiring people to stand there and deal with you in person, which is not the most efficient use. And so what we have are people who are now going to be going into other jobs. I mean, we hired the warehouse workers. We hired the delivery people. We're probably going to put more people to work in knowledge businesses. You do need more people who are going to be doing website, and they don't have to do development. I mean, we're not talking crazy, but they have to maintain, they have to ship, they have to do different things. And so we're recentering employment to what will be the employment of the future. We're just doing it at speed, and we're going through a period of adjustment, and adjustment periods are difficult.